Alright, welcome back. Uh, so, let me talk about this New York Mets situation for a minute. I know that I have a lot of Met friends that watch the New York Mets and cheer for the New York Mets. You stay right there. And if you want to talk about the FIFA Women's World Cup or the College World Series Finals, we can certainly do that. But I have two articles right in front of me. And people are like, what's the setup like? Well, I'm recording on my tablet, which is a piece of shit, by the way. But still, it's good for recording audio like this, no less. I'll probably be getting a new one in the next month. I already have plans to get an iPad, so that's good. A new iPad, too. But I have a Deadspin article right in front of me. Now, our good old buddy Mickey Callaway and the team that everyone loves when they're melting down is New York Mets. They're back in the news. So, and I'm reading straight from the article that's pulled up right in front of me. I have a computer right in front of me, so I can pull up articles while I'm talking. Okay? Second paragraph of this Deadspin article. After the team's 5-3 loss to the Cubs on Sunday. Now, I'm going to add something to that. The Mets had a 3-1 lead in the 8th inning. They bailed a 3-1 lead, and they were trying to sweep the Cubs at the Cubs, which is not an easy thing to do if you know your baseball. Okay? Now, I continue. Manager Mickey Callaway, who's in his second year at the front of the helm, he replaced the retired Terry Collins, and pitcher Jason Vargas were part of a heated baseball moment with Newsday reporter Tim Healy. Callaway tried to kick Healy out of a clubhouse with an MF bomb, with a motherfucker bomb, and Vargas threatened to knock, quote, and I'm reading this, quote, I'll knock the fuck out of you, bruh. Knock you the fuck out, bruh. Alright, before I go further, first thing, the last thing you want to be is a manager or pitcher or anything affiliated to do with the New York Mets. That is not a gig where many people should be lined up for. Not unless if you're a social reject or if you like insecurity. Second, even if you do make that ill-fated decision to hook with the Mets, you sure as all hell do not want to be provoking the media. Because they already hate you, and I'm going to tell you why they hate you. You're a team, and this is why the reason why I call them the social reject team, is the fact that you're the second biggest team in your city, and the biggest team, clearly, maybe in all of sports, is the New York Yankees. Okay, the Mets have had some great moments in their history. The 69 Mets. They came all the way back. They're going to celebrate that actually this weekend at Citi Field. When they came back against the Cubs and defeated the heavily favored Baltimore Orioles in the 69 series. The 86 World Series, when Bill Buckner made that L in Game 6, and the Mets came back and won Game 7. Game 6 and 7, actually. The 2000 World Series, when they and the Yankees won a World Series called the Subway Series. Of course the Yankees beat them. That always happens. The 2006 NLDS, or the NLCS against the Cardinals. After a few years being down, the Mets were back up again. At least for that year. The 2015 World Series, in which you saw a slow start and then a really fast finish when they beat the Cubs, the Dodgers, and and lost to the Royals in 5 games. Kansas City's my team, by the way, if you don't know me personally, but that's for another time. And the 2016 NL wildcard game when they lost to the Giants, and the collapse that's been ever since. So the idea that you want to go to a team that's, for the most part, number one, they're the second biggest baseball team in their city, and for the most part, outside those few years, have been a complete laughingstock, is ridiculous. Okay? And they're screaming at a reporter who probably sucks the Yankees' dick on a nightly basis. He must have a death wish. He must try to be a kamikaze. You know the kamikazes in World War II that intentionally crashed into the American planes? This is what's reminding me of, actually. Alright. So, MLB reacted yesterday. Because they had to. And Vargas and Callaway were each fined $10,000, and the two had to talk about what they did. Now, the $10,000 part, they'll make that up in a single game. Okay? They're not worried about that. They don't care. Alright? Money's nothing. They should have been both suspended. And maybe filed. Who knows? Because they already want to file Mickey Callaway as it is. Let me pull up something 1 second while I'm talking. They lost 12-6 to the Phillies. Now, I'll get to that in just a second. Alright? Dysfunctional. So, the Oakland Raiders got on Hard Knocks. I heard there was a Dr. Phil opening on September 14th. The Mets, the Giants, and the Miami Dolphins are auditioning. I just read that tweet. Oh, that's hilarious. It's true. Let's see. I wanna pull up the record because I knew they were like 20 games below 500 this year. Last year. Let's see. 77 and 85. All right. Terrible. 77 and 85. Now, Mr. Callaway is 37 and 42. Yeah, 37 and 42 as the Mets manager. Okay? So he has a win-loss record of 114 and 127. That's not going to do it. Even for the Mets, like I said, who have a lot of dysfunctionality behind the team, that's not going to cut it. Okay? Now, about the sentence, and the two had to talk about what they did. The pitcher, Jason Vargas, who said, "I'll knock the fuck out of you, bro," chose to be very short about it. And I'm going to try to do something here, and this might sound terrible, and if it does, I apologize in advance. But I'm going to try to do something. I have the audio right in front of me about Jason Vargas. Stand by.
I think everybody's aware of the situation that happened yesterday. I think it's unfortunate for all parties, and an unfortunate distraction. But tonight we got the Phillies to play. The team's addressed the situation. The organization's made a statement. And, that's really all there is to it. So thanks for taking your time, and we'll see you guys after the game.
Alright. Few things to that. Number one, media. Even some media in the Mets, okay? They want to grow the team. They want to grow your sport. They want to try to aid in baseball, okay? In the baseball coverage. They're not trying. Now, some media questions are stupid. Some media reporters shouldn't be covering the sport. I understand that. But most of them are trying to grow your sport. And if they ask a question, unless if it's a smart-ass question, give them an answer. Give them an answer. It could be frank, sure. And another thing, and this goes for any of you guys, when you apologize, you need to apologize sincerely, instead of half-assing it like Jason Vargas did. Because I had to apologize to my best friend 2 months ago. I snapped on her. And I can guarantee it was like, that's an unfortunate distraction. I don't know shit. She didn't want to hear that. So I didn't say that. Alright? I had to apologize. First of all, I wrote out my apology letter. Several paragraphs. And for any of you guys, use the word I and not you, because you directs blame on the other person. Okay? Just a tip. Just a Hagen Bentley tip. Doesn't mean anything, just a Hagen Bentley tip. Meanwhile, Callaway tried to convey that the argument was a misunderstanding and everything was fine now. He referenced the late Yankees manager Billy Martin, who once punched a reporter, invoking a successful Yankees manager isn't the best play here. We're gonna move on. Here's a quote. Quote. We're gonna move on like nothing happened. Again, not everything will be okay in one day. My best friend and I didn't talk for like 4 weeks after I snapped. I'm not going to go into detail why, but I got this audio as well. Mickey Callaway. Mickey Callaway says he and Tim Healy have talked privately.
Yeah, I don't need to tell my side. That doesn't help me in any way. It was a misunderstanding, obviously, for things like that to happen. It's always a misunderstanding. I'm sure there was no malintent by either. It's just something that happened, and we have to move forward.
Mickey, if you could turn the clock back to before it happened, what would you have done differently to kind of avoid it?
Not walk to the food room to eat. I would have eaten at the hotel. No. It's something that happened. You live with it. I got to talk to Tim personally. We're fine. He understands that. I've been in this situation my whole career. Right? When you play a tough game like this, you got coaches yelling at you. You got other teammates yelling at you. I've always had this ability to get through it, and 5 minutes later I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Tim's fine. We're gonna move on like nothing happened. Do we learn from it? Absolutely.
Now, most of what Callaway said was actually legitimate. Alright? Now, they, apparently, according to him, the two talked about the game, about it after the game, and apparently they're fine. However, this is a bad look for a manager who's under pressure. He's under pressure. I told you what his record is, so he's under pressure to do well. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. I have another article about the game last night against the Phillies. Baseball, any sport has emotions involved. Any competition has emotions involved. And you want to outdo the other team, the other competitor. And that's fine. That's nature. Okay? That's natural to do that. However, okay? Even managers who suck don't usually get fired after a year and a half unless it felt really ugly. And I'm not talking about fuck you ugly. I'm talking about really, really ugly. Okay? He might have some demons. Okay? He's 44 years old. He's way too young not to end up somewhere if he does get let go by the Mets. He'll end up somewhere. But if he does that to reporters, imagine what he's done to assistant coaches, players, and probably owners, and probably even more than that. I don't have to get into details of players coming out that contradict Mickey Callaway. Okay? I just know naturally that not all managers do this. Okay? So I'm gonna move on. Quote, Billy Martin punched a reporter one time. I'm a passionate guy about baseball. I'm a tough competitor. Now, everybody in baseball is a tough competitor and is passionate. Otherwise, why the fuck would you play if you're not passionate about what you do? Okay? Now, the Wilpons have turned this team into a disgrace, into more of a social reject than it already has been. Okay? In fact, I'm gonna try to pull up. This is a hilarious Mike Francesa about Citi Field. So I'm gonna try to pull it up. Okay? Meanwhile, I'll talk about the second article. Okay? Now, Callaway may soon have to answer questions about something else at hand. General Manager Brody Van Wagenen, he's German, calling shots during games from his house. They're in Philly. Now, even from New York to Philly, that should probably be a 2-hour drive at most, even with all the traffic. Alright? Now, according to Mike Puma of the New York Post, it was Von Wagner who ordered for ace Jacob deGrom to be removed from a game earlier this month. Okay? So, this was not against the Phillies. This was against another team. He was watching the game at home. Now, quote, the source said Von Wagner, who was watching the game at home on TV, communicated with a member of the Mets support staff with an order to remove deGrom from the game. Callaway complied with the order, and deGrom was visibly upset as he departed the field, certain that he could have continued pitching. The manager was grilled for remove, but at the time insisted the decision was his. Now, the general manager doesn't take responsibility. This is his first season as a general manager. His manager can't take responsibility to save his life. The players can't take responsibility. The owner can't take responsibility. Now, do you understand why I call this a dysfunctional team, and they're casting on Dr. Phil, and they're social rejects? You understand my argument now? Okay, they're only better than the Miami Marlins in their division. 37-42, 4th place in the NL East. God. That's embarrassing. It really is. At least be honest. Go out with some balls instead of being a little kid about it. Little 4-year-old. What a joke. Finally got the Mike Francesa call, so I'm gonna pull that up, and then we're gonna do that. Okay.
Dreadful team, offensively. Jamal in Queens, what's up, Jamal?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, what's happening?
A quick question. I'm just gonna ask you and hang up. This is a year of expectation for the Mets.
Right.
I mean, it's been very well discussed about the Wilpons financial troubles dating back to perhaps the Madoff thing and the expense of the stadium. And I'm just wondering if they get out slow out the gate, and attendance is down, do you think it's possible that Citi Field might get struck by some Jewish lightning? I'm going to hang up and listen. Thank you.
He waited for 2 hours to make that call. Jerry in Williamsburg, I'm glad he did. Jerry, what's happening?
Now, a couple things about that. That's hilarious. Number one, that's fucking hilarious. Number two, if you ever listen to my friend Cecil after a prank call, and I prank called him once in the past, he usually goes, he waited back there for 2 hours to make a call. Or 3 hours, or 1 hour, just making something ridiculous. I prank called him in 2017, okay? And I made up a name, Lee, okay? He said I waited for about a half hour. Guess how long I waited? I waited about 7 minutes. I was the first caller of the day. Alright? So Mike, you can quit lying. You can laugh at a couple prank calls. It's all for fun. Quit being a stuck-up little bitch. And there's a shit ton of my princess of prank calls out there. For a YouTube loop if you want. Alright? But if you're the Mets, okay, you need to move on. You need to move on from Mickey Callaway. Clearly, even for this dysfunctional team, he is not the guy. He is not the guy you want to lead if he's going to bitch about the reporter asking him questions after the team blew another lead, which they do all the time. They blow leads. Even if they're dominating the game, they make it closer than what it should be. Okay? And Mickey Callaway goes, well, this close. You lost 12-6 to the Phillies last night. How are you close? It was 6-15 in June. Before they beat you last night. 6-15, how are you close? Well, this close. This close to what? The Marlins coming in and beating you? You got the Braves in Citi Field this weekend. Good luck. Because their team's rolling right now. Alright? But coming back. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Peace. Said peace.